Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, here live on our Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros, and of course, on demand on the YouTube, Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop your comments below on this or any video, and you can win yourself this month a Cecil Fielder throwback Tigres jersey, number 45, signed by Big Daddy Cecil himself from pristineauction.com. Again, subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. Drop your comments below. Ring the bell till it goes ding, and boom, bang, pow, the jersey is yours. Welsh, a lot to talk about today. We're going to get into Ohtani. Before we do, we got the draft combine today. I don't know if you're attending. I don't know if you're going to be taking part in any drills, but we also had Gage Wood throw a 19 strikeout no-hitter yesterday in the College World Series. That was pretty damn fun. So I thought that was where I kind of wanted to start today, because that was just an exciting thing to watch the highlights of.
It was one hit batter away from a perfect game as well. It was the first college series no-hitter, College World Series no-hitter since, I believe, 1960. So it'd been or 65. So it's 60 or 65 years since that had happened. Dude had 19 strikeouts, went 117 pitches, which is crazy. Was just pumping velo, and all these gauges are amazing. He was absolutely incredible, and he was kind of a fringy first-round guy. No doubt that performance might have pushed him up into the first round.
I think so. I think somebody's gonna look at that in that moment, in that spot too. But it was fun. If you love baseball, go check out the highlights.
I will say I was very tempted because the draft combine is here in Phoenix, and it's going on for 3 days. I'm not at it's going on right now. This minute is when it started
3 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I'm not there, by the way, and I did not bring the studio with me. But no, I didn't think it's a little bit more of a headache going through. And if I'm being really honest, if Ethan Holiday was there, I probably would have pressed myself to go. The potential number 1 overall first pick, Jackson's brother, Ethan Holiday, not attending. Quite a few good college bats not attending. It's going to be great and everything like that. But, 3-day venture, I got to be with the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Yeah. Plus, don't press yourself against Ethan Holiday. Do you think Ethan Holiday is going to get any slack because of his brother's disappointing major league performance so far? Just curiosity there.
Well, I mean, disappointing. He's also, it is for voting, but he is number 2 in all-star voting at second base right now for the AL. But I don't think he's had an underwhelming comparative, career, if you want to call it. But this year he's bounced back. He's hitting almost 260, 8 homers, 7 stolen bases, pacing out to be close to a 2020 guy
this year. That was my bold prediction. He would be a 2020 guy. So it could happen. He's right there. Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani, because that's what everybody's here for today. Shohei Ohtani was back on the mound for the first time in more than a year, for the first time as well as a Los Angeles Dodger, and the stadium was packed, as I predicted. First time in Dodger history, everybody showed up for the first inning, because it wasn't going to last much longer than that. So Ohtani threw 1 inning. He did drive in a couple runs in that game too, which was kind of wild to see him just kind of run to go lead off right after pitching. It was, I don't know if you watched it, Welsh. I watched it live when it was happening. Okay, so watching it live when it was happening, I had a lot of mixed emotions. The first thing was, wow, I forgot how cool this was. It's just a weird thing. There's Ohtani. I haven't seen him pitch in a long time. He's throwing 98. He's throwing 100 sometimes, popping the radar gun. He was clearly amped up, clearly overthrowing at times too. I think he would admit that. I think everything was just a little bit, jumpy for him a little yesterday. The velo's there. That's good. But I think he's got to settle down a little bit, obviously, and, build up that feel for pitching again. So I had all these mixed emotions, because that was the first emotion, was oh, cool. This is exciting. And wow, this is so stunning to watch. And then the longer I watched him pitch into that inning, and he got hit a little bit, I kept thinking to myself, okay, I know the Dodgers really need him right now, this year in particular, to do this. But is this too risky anymore? I'm watching him throw 100 miles an hour, and I'm thinking to myself, my God, he's one of the top 5 hitters in baseball.
Him being
he's an MVP.
A pitcher?
Yeah. I just keep thinking about, okay, he's already had an arm surgery now. Can you afford... I understand you need him right now. There's a need for the team to have him pitch this season. And I understand the argument of you're wasting his talent if he doesn't pitch, because what an incredible, extraordinary talent he is. but also it's a huge gamble and it's a huge risk. And that's all I kept thinking about in the back of my mind as the inning continued to unfold. I'm just curious, what was your feelings, emotions watching Ohtani last night, your takeaways? Because for me, it was a lot of feels, as the kids like to say. I was in the feels last night watching it, good and bad, and just wondering, do the Dodgers, I know their window's not closing, but Freeman's getting older. Betts has had some health issues. I don't know, Welsh. Like, you can't afford to lose Ohtani for a long period of time if he should get hurt pitching.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, but it's what they signed up for. Like, that
I
is
know.
what you got into bed with. It's just he wants to be a pitcher. He's going to be a pitcher. And the interesting thing about this, they talked on the broadcast, was the reason he was starting this game was because Shohei was throwing these kind of intense, competitive, bullpen sessions of 1 to 2 innings, and he went to the team and was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want this. Let's put this into a game. Let me
Mhm.
help this team. So he's the one that pressed this into an inning. But it is what it is. Like, I kind of agree with you in that, like, while you're watching, you're just like, man, you forget that something could happen on the mound that could affect, his hitting and could
Yeah.
affect, the rest of him as a fantasy hitter, because he's just not you have to play in a daily transaction league for Ohtani to truly be the two-way player. I own him in the Scott White CBS league.
That's not true,
I
actually,
don't.
because I have him in. I don't have him, but in CBS head-to-head points, he's one player
Well,
in a
no, I
weekend
know
league.
that, and
It's
that's
not
not what I'm
daily
saying. What I'm
transactions.
saying
No,
is,
you said daily transactions. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to daily transact him in that one.
oh yeah, but what I'm getting at is, like, I never use him as a pitcher. He's just a hitter. He's not. I never put him in the pitching spot because, I mean, he hasn't been going deep. But even when he was, having that really great pitching year, I just didn't find a spot where I was going to throw him in. So my point is like, he's a hitter. And the pitching affecting the hitting definitely is kind of like in your face, but it's what they signed up for. I can appreciate that they're not wasting these in bullpen sessions and it's actually competitive out there, but no one's putting him, putting him in their lineup or anything like that. But, watching it, I just thought he was overpressing himself. He had some calls that were really super close. There was a one potential called third strike that
Oh, the
didn't go his
Machado
way.
check
Yeah, the
swing was
Machado one.
absolutely a swing.
But
There's no doubt.
yeah, his slider, like, it was good at points, but he had some really bad sliders. His fastball was overthrowing. He's really rusty. That looked like a rusty Shohei Ohtani because it pushed like 30 pitches in the first inning. He got hit up a little bit, gave up no strikeouts, which, by the way, my other two bets yesterday were laughable, but I had the under 1.5 strikeouts, and that paid off because he was rusty and he was only going to go one inning. So I think it's great. It's fun. But, like, as a purist of baseball, you look and you're just like, man, you're just waiting for him to, like, grab his arm or something. And you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, what is that going to do for the rest
I'll
of the
take
season?
another thing, and maybe this is less doom and gloom in terms of injury, but also just practicality. The other thought that I had today was, Shohei Ohtani, as he builds up arm strength, they're going to tax the hell out of this bullpen. It's already kind of been taxed this year by the lack of starting pitching depth. Unless you think Glasnow and Snell are going to come back and start to become 6 and 7 inning pitchers on a regular basis after the All-Star break, what is this going to do to the bullpen in the short term too? I think, or short term and long term. I think that's another thing the Dodgers have to ask themselves. Like, are we putting ourselves in the best situation here right now with this entire Ohtani experiment this year? Would it be better to just have him be ready to work as a starter in spring training next year? It's a lot of questions, and I don't
You
have the
know,
answers. I'm more just putting it out there because I think everyone's just so excited, as I was last night, to see him back there doing his thing, being the rock star Shohei Ohtani. But if I'm the Dodgers and I'm thinking about winning, it's a really crazy double-edged sword right now.
yeah, there's something about, like, and plenty of teams do bullpen games or even just openers. I
In
did think it was.
June? Are we doing this in June
Yeah,
already,
I think
though?
well, I mean, look at the injuries. They've got guys injured left and right. The thing that I think is interesting about it, though, that it kind of speaks to what you're saying, is I don't think this didn't need to be a bullpen game. They went Ohtani and then they went to Kasperius, who we were talking about, but Kasperius they only let him go 60 pitches. They burned up 6 other relievers. Or if you want to take Ohtani and Kasperius off, they burned 5 other relievers. And that is where I agree with you. I don't think that's great if you're going to do these. If you're going to put these out here, go Ohtani 1 or 2. Let Kasperius, he's got to go 4 or 5. Don't drop him at 60 pitches and let those two eat up 6 to 7 innings so you're not burning 5 or 6 relievers. Because what's the issue? injuries, and their bullpen has stunk this year. Kopech has had injuries. Tanner Scott's been kind of like, I don't see why in this game they literally threw out Yates, Scott, Kopech. Obviously, it was a divisional important game, but that's the only thing I'm with you with. Like, if you're going to do these 1 and 2 inning Ohtani things, I think it's a big nothing burger. But don't every single time burn 5 or 6 relievers, because that's a problem that this team
look,
has.
they had Kasparius coming after, and when we recorded yesterday, we weren't sure what that was going to be. That news came kind of right after, because originally he was slated to take on the Padres later in the week. But again, it's like, I see what they're doing. I see the plan. It's Emmett Sheehan, it's this guy, and then like you hope if you piece it together, and then after the break, Glasnow and Snell come back. But if they don't, it's gonna be really interesting to see how I keep saying it. I know everyone thought, it's just the Dodgers. It's just the Dodgers this year, and then I think betting against the Dodgers is the way to go. I think that's a way to make a lot of money this year. I saw a question in the chat: are we starting David Peterson today against the Braves? My answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. David Peterson, here's some fun stats for you. Ready for some nugs? I got the nugs out. They're saucy. 34 games pitched, his last 34 games pitched. He's 15-5 over his last 200 innings, a 2.74 ERA, a 1.72 strikeout mark, 172 Ks. David Peterson just doesn't come out of my lineup anymore. Period. End of story. Let's talk about some other pitching performances. Logan Gilbert returned to the mound, and he embarrassed my bets yesterday. He struck out 10 guys in 5 innings. I thought 6.5 was too many. I was wrong. So good on Logan Gilbert against the Red Sox. And Lucas Giolito in that same game. This is the second game in a row Giolito's been good. 10 strikeouts for him. I don't know what's going on. He was one of the most dropped pitchers. I asked the question last week, Welsh, would you pick him up if he was dropped in your league? You said unequivocally no. Do you stand by that answer today, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I don't stand by unequivocally no. Like, I have to pay attention to it. They were talking about it in the broadcast because I had clicked over, or I was watching this, I think, prior to the Ohtani start. And they're talking about arm angle with Giolito and him feeling more comfortable again. And he's able to get his fastball back up. And you can see it. He was over a mile per hour back on his four seam. He was throwing everything harder, which clearly just created better efficiency. He was also able to throw some strikes. He was almost 60% on the fastball. It was a huge whiff pitch. Crazy enough, in that start, every single pitch had a 40 or higher whiff rate, 40% or higher, actually 41% or higher. Slider, changeup, curveball, back to confidence, back to healthy. I think having the fastball back has made everything better. And so, yeah, I would definitely kind of jump back on that train and kind of eat what I said. And Logan Gilbert, by the way, solid, great. I mean, 21 whiffs was ridiculous. Just coming off the injury, you were just curious what you were going to see. There was some velo down. I'm not sure I'd read too much into it. His slider specifically was the pitch that was quite a bit down, but they also tinker with sweepery type of things. But he, huge whiffs, regardless of that homer that he gave up, which I think we're going to talk about with Roman Anthony. Like, he looked great. So Logan Gilbert just flies right back up into the value train. But to your point, Lucas Giolito, he's not in the circle of trust, but he put a foot in there. He's got a couple toes.
I grab him by the toes and throw him on my bench right now, at the very least, if somebody dropped him in your league and need some pitching help. Another strikeout performance of double-digit quality, Ryan Pepiot, as the Rays stay hot. 11 strikeouts, 1 run over 8 innings. Pepiot was a guy, if you watched our show in the offseason, we were very pro Pepiot, especially me. I know for sure. I think, Welsh, you were a Pepiot guy too. I know Eno was a Pepiot guy as well, I want to say, going to this season. Stellar 3.11 ERA, 1.110 whip, 84 strikeouts, 26 walks in 89 innings. His last few starts have been terrific. He has really stepped up and become a frontline guy in this rotation as the season's gone on. And Brandon Lau hit a 2-run homer, so the Rays 7-1 over the Orioles. A really good outing for Pepiot yesterday.
Bet the Dodgers wish they had Pepiot back. Someone put this out. Someone put out this really interesting thing. Since the Glasnow trade, Pepiot in that entirety has outperformed Glasnow.
He's definitely had more starts.
Yeah, across the board, he's just outperformed him. And yeah, he's been pretty dang good this year. I mean, he has hit his strikeouts come down. Expected ERA is still a little bit higher, but he's getting it done. He is a more than serviceable pitcher, great piece of the rotation. And when you're rattling off some of these, these big starts, these big performances, we have to pay attention. And he's now 2 straight months in to a sub 3 ERA. So he was 2.25 all last month. He's up just under 2.75 through 3 starts this month. So he's getting it done. Whip numbers are low. Like, he's a real deal. Like Pepiot is an absolute unit right now.
Game Over just resubbed with Prime. Thanks, Game Over. Remember, you can resub too. Use your Amazon Prime account. Get rid of those nasty commercials over on Twitch and just watch us. Also, Welsh, when you continue to look at some of the pitching performances from yesterday, another one we got to talk about is Sandy Alcantara. Now, this one I actually did watch a chunk of. I had a meeting last night. It happened to be on the same time as the Sandy Alcantara start that MLB Network was showing, and I was watching him, and it's funny, first couple innings looked pretty good, looked solid, and then that second time through the order, they were hitting him hard. So the line, I think, is a little misleading here against the Phillies. 2 runs, 5 innings. People look at this, 5 strikeouts, only issued a walk. Okay, cool. He did give up 2 solo homers to Trey Turner and to Max Kepler. I saw the Kepler one. That inning in the 4th inning, he got hit around hard. One of the outfielders made a great play. One was a bullet out there to center field that did not get caught. Then the home run was in that inning too. Sandy does, when you're watching him, he doesn't, a lot of the sliders are flat, and those are getting beat around. Now, again, the results in terms of fantasy stats have certainly been better the last 3 starts. There's no doubt about that. I think somebody will come knocking for Alcantara if he continues to pitch this way, and if the Marlins get a decent haul for him. I don't know if you saw any of this start or did not, but to me, it wasn't like I would tell you this, he didn't pitch as well to me as the line suggests. And I just want to throw that out there from the visual aspect of it, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, I was trying to look too. It doesn't really tell me enough, but one thing I would love to see is like the pitches per inning. So like what did he not throw in the first couple innings to what he started to throw? And I was just looking at the pitch velo breakdown, and it does look like maybe he started throwing his changeup a tiny bit more a little bit later into game, and that's still the craziest anomaly of all of this. Sandy was like the elite changeup guy. It was his 4th used pitch in this game. He just didn't use it as much because it didn't get enough whiffs. He had 1 called strike. It was an 18% CSW called strike and whiff percentage, which is horrifically bad. So I wonder if it looked like early on he was leaning a little bit more into like the sinker and the slider, and then there may be a few more changeups later. He did get hit hard. Guys get away with some of this stuff. I will say it's still encouraging that he wasn't getting blown up. He got out of this giving up only 2 earned runs. He didn't walk a whole bunch. He got to 100 pitches, but the Phillies are also going to put up some pretty big hard contact. I just don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to his changeup, and that's the saddest thing. And I kind of approach him with some trepidation. I actually got in that Scott White League, people trying to get Sandy off of me. I had drafted Sandy in the auction, and I've been holding on to him. And there was I won't say who, but there was like an offer out there. It was pretty underwhelming. And I said, I'm actually going to hold on to Sandy right now to see if he recoups value off of a couple more starts and really getting traded. Because if he were to be traded to a team like the Dodgers or whatever, then his fantasy value kind of boosts up because the team I have it's a little bit selly right now. But I'm cautiously optimistic because he's not getting blown out by 5 runs every single game. Like, he held it down, hard hit contact we got to pay attention to. Give me a team that can repair his changeup or something, because I still think it's there in the tank somewhere for Sandy. He's just so off right now.
Better.
But velos are there. Velos look fine. Spin numbers are okay. It just doesn't seem like he's throwing enough quality strikes, and he doesn't have a strikeout pitch anymore because his changeup is just dead. So give him something else. In season is tough though. This is going to be, by the way, like a buy Sandy next year thing. If he starts implementing something else, maybe stop throwing a changeup and start throwing a splitter or something like that. But get him to another team and fix him. Fix it.
Maybe get him to the Mets and fix him. Let's go. They can fix everybody. You laugh, but they can. Again, the results better. Everything's better. Not perfect. Like, don't fool yourself. You gotta watch a little bit sometimes. You gotta see these guys with your own eyes a little bit. That second time around the order, it was he got lucky. Let me just put balls were hitting hard on the nose everywhere. A couple at people, a couple not at people, and one that did not come back.
Well, you can see it too. Exit velocities, it's his fastballs, because there's not enough life on it. Average exit velocity against his sinker in this game was 100 miles per hour. average exit velocity against his four-seam fastball, 97 miles per hour. And his changeup had an almost 94 mile per hour average exit velocity. So, I mean, the average exit velocities, it's crazy. They're 93 or higher, except everything but his slider. So he just doesn't have something to go to.
And his demeanor isn't great either on the mound. You could see, like, once he started to get hit around, he starts to feel it a little bit. And you could see he's kind of like, here we go again. And that mental aspect is huge. You know, when Sandy is great, he's out there, he's working fast, he looks terrific. You know, some of it is also, I think, just as much mental here and just kind of soldiering on. I think a lot of it's mental. It's pitching. Hunter Goodman, 2 homers for him yesterday. It was a great comeback win for the Rockies over the Nats. Orion Kerkering threw a perfect ninth yesterday against the Marlins. Got his first career save. They've had all kinds of issues, the Phillies, in that ninth inning. Alvarado got suspended. Romano stinks. Could Kerkering possibly be a guy you want to stash in a deeper league right now just to see how things go in the next, I don't know, couple weeks?
It's a possibility. I think they have a rotational closing situation going on, similar to what the Diamondbacks were doing early in the year. It's like sometimes it's going to be this guy, sometimes that guy, and then they're going to throw a third in there. This is going to go between Romano, Strom, and Kerkering. Maybe they're going to have found a rhythm that they really like here, that they want to go in that order, and Kerkering gets the saves. I just don't think he's going to be the guy for saves, but if you're in the speculation market, he's in the mix. He's gotten saves before, so Orion Kerkering is someone you could pay attention to.
All right, quick rookie lookie. Nick Kurtz, another big home run, a walk-off this time for the A's to get a 3-2 win over the Astros. Roman Anthony, his first Major League Baseball home run. Good times for him.
96 up from Logan Gilbert. He took dead center. Yeah, it was, if you saw it, dead center, that it ended up kind of like pulling a little bit, but
I saw it.
96 up was massively impressive for him to turn on that stuff. And fun fact, because you love fun facts, Joe.
I do.
Did you know that Rafael Devers' first career home run came against the Seattle Mariners in Seattle, and Roman Anthony just
I did not know that.
Boy in Seattle.
That is a fun fact, everybody. Thanks,
fact.
Uncle Welsh.
There you go.
And it couldn't come at a better time, too. I mean, all the speculation, like, oh, no, what are we going to do without Devers? And then Roman Anthony gets a home run. That's good. Speaking of which, did you see all those people on social media? I don't know if you saw some of these posts. People saying, I got my dad a Rafael Devers jersey for Father's Day. And I gave it to him a couple hours before he got traded. There was a bunch of those. Hilarious. So,
there's our tweets again.
Those are the tweets from yesterday. Those are some pretty good ones, but I gotta find some of these Instagram posts. They were hilarious. One was I was at the game. I bought my dad bought a jersey for himself. One was I got my dad a jersey for Father's Day, Rafael Devers, because they got the new ones with the alternate uniform.
You know what the best part about the whole thing is, though, is I don't know if you've seen the thing. There's this report, I think it was Buster Only talking about it today, that the Giants are going to ask him to play first base, and they were just kind of like, Devers is now going to be in a spot where he just is not going to be able to say no. I think yesterday we were talking about, maybe it was like the legacy and stuff of Devers and all that. The biggest kick in the face is going to be that Buster Posey is going to ask him to play first. He's going to play first. And all of this mess could have not happened had he just shut up and played first.
Yeah. Is he going to ask him the way I ask like my teenage daughter to like come in for dinner, or if she wants to watch a movie with us or something? Like, hey, Rafi, I don't know if you're busy right now. This is probably silly. I don't even know how I'm asking, but I don't know. I mean, we were going to watch, we had nobody playing first base, and I thought maybe it'd be fun if you wanted to play first base, maybe take a break.
I don't know if Buster Posey's going to ask it quite like that, but I guess it's possible. Buster Posey,
I'm sorry, it's so stupid. Why did I ask that? Why did I do that?
The great thing that they have is Buster Posey commands so much respect because he was such a great player that I guess it tells you having a relief pitcher managing your team versus having a Hall of Fame type catcher. It gets a different little level of respect, but I love it, and we're gonna see it tonight. I think he's gonna probably DH tonight. Devers is, but I'm all for the chaos for him to do that. And the other thing I'm here for, I speculated this on ITL yesterday, but I also think that the Red Sox are going to make some moves that are going to fill back what they lost. Like, I don't think this is they're selling off, being done team. They're committed to Anthony, Campbell, and Mayer. And I think they're going to make some type of move, whether it's like, getting to a Eugenio Suarez with the Diamondbacks or something. They're going to bring some bat in that's going to close that gap of what they sold off, and it is going to be even
Suarez
more
would
hilarious.
Suarez would be an interesting one now, but the problem is, again, Suarez just become your DH, right?
He can play first base. No, he can go and play first. He could be a first base. I mean, I'm focusing on the Diamondbacks. I'm focusing on the Diamondbacks, though, but Josh Naylor is a free agent after this year. If you don't think you have the money or anything, trade him off. He'd be great in Boston. Did you say Marcell Ozuna?
I was saying Ozuna if the Braves fall out of it in the next month.
Well, did you hear that apparently there's two rumors that went out here. Jeff Ponce on Foul Territory mentioned that there was a team, there was another trade, and John Henry management backed out because they had to take on money. And then side note, there was a rumor that the Red Sox had talked to the Braves about a trade that would have sent Marcell Ozuna to Boston. It was Sean Murphy, Marcell Ozuna, a couple pieces, but then the Braves wanted them to take on money, and then the Braves backed out. Just rumors, but there was this Braves one that went around Ozuna, and then it was televised on Foul Territory that they had
in Atlanta too. Guess what, Rafi? You're a DH everywhere. Hate to break it to you. More rookie lookies. Mick Abel, 1 run, 5 innings, continues to be good. It was a good matchup, though, for him against the Marlins. And the Rockies brought back your boy, Welsh. Michael Toglia, remember him?
It's time.
It's time. It's time. It's Toglia time. 273, 353, 568 / 3 homers in 11 minor league games so far since being sent down. Welsh, your thoughts on Toglia 2.0?
We're getting it back. This is going to be one of those cases like I will move with, the ideas. Like I like Toglia in the offseason. I was so wrong. It's not funny. I mean, my whole thing was like, listen, he had an almost 240 expected batting average. If he hits 230, 240 with his power, he's going to hit 30, 40 homers. Well, he still didn't because the strikeouts were even more of a problem this year. Hit a 39% strikeout rate. Usually this would be a good time for me to just, all right, tuck my tail. I told everybody I'm wrong. And I was wrong. But I'm going to just hold in and say, let's go. Let's have Toglia bounce this back. So this can be my guy. This is old DVR with Victor Robles. I'll just stay with Toglia. And then if he's good, I can have some type of win, or I'll just keep taking L's. He stinks, though, but he's got the best power in baseball. Not really, but, one of the big power hitters in Colorado. Just for the love of God, hit 230. Stop striking out.
Hit 230 and hit some bombs, please.
Can you hit 230, please?
Can you please? That's a very low bar. Wonky Penguin says, Joe, how often does your daughter respond to you? You're ruining my life. Actually, never. My oldest, who is amazing, I joke about that, but as a teenager, they are a little hot and cold sometimes, personality-wise. They either want to talk your ear off about something, or you ask them a simple question. I asked her a simple question like, hey, did you get everything done you needed to last night? She went, yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, all I asked you was in a nice tone. I know you had studying for finals. I know you had some other homework stuff. We were out at football practice. Did you get everything done? And she's like, well, yeah, but it felt like you were implying that there were other things that I had to do that I didn't do. I'm like, no, that's you. That's you putting that on. See,
I'm just starting to experience that.
He's got a preteen-ish, like she's just getting to the preteen. You have no idea, my friend.
No, my daughter's going to be 9, so she's not. But my son,
I think you're entering preteen years. You're just about there.
But my son is right at, he's about to be 13, but he's acting like a teen. We're starting to get that. That's one thing I don't do. I don't do
teenage boys. I know. I coach them. They're just goofs. The teenage girls will rip your heart out. They will stomp on it. They will make you feel this big.
Pretty good about that.
If you're not caring. I'm just saying, get ready. Buckle up, folks. All right. Now, Welsh had fun facts. I've got a fun fact. I saw this and it blew my mind. And I wanted to share it for everybody who just can't stop talking about Paul Skeens and how unflappable he is. And I love Paul Skeens, but I thought this was amazing. This was via CBS Sports had this. Look at this. Through 36 starts in their career, Paul Skeens and Matt Harvey, 15-9 for Skeens, 12-10 for Harvey, 216 innings pitched for Skeens, 237 for Harvey. Skeens has a 2 ERA. Harvey, through his first 36 games, a 2.39 ERA, 255 strikeouts to 261, 25 quality starts, 26 quality starts. The walk percentage, 6%. The strikeout percentage, almost identical, 65.7, 65.6. The WAR, 6.8. Harvey's was actually higher at 8.2. this was fun for two reasons. Number one, everybody forgets how great Matt Harvey was for a stretch, before he blew it up his nose and had a lot of other issues there and things fell
Crying
apart.
about Adriana Lima.
Well, I mean, I would cry about that too if I was him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think Skeens has a much better head on his shoulders. He seems like a much more solid dude. However, this has got to send I don't know, like a shiver down your spine when you see how identical these numbers are, just a tad.
No, not at all. This is, to me, this is one of the first things you said. This is just people forgetting how good Matt Harvey was. Like Matt Harvey was like the pitcher you wanted, the dynasty guy to bet on. He's a Met. He was dominant. He was ridiculous. I mean, look, in the same span, more strikeouts. Think about that. Matt Harvey did. That's how good if you weren't around for the Matt Harvey range. The thing that Skeens has going for him is Livy Dunn. Matt Harvey had hotel rooms, booger sugar, and Adriana Lima breaking up with him. So it was
he had a bit of that nose candy.
Yeah, he had problems. Paul Skeens is like pretty level-headed, and
he is. But
so this doesn't
not
worry
immune from
me
injuries too, and not immune from. Again, it's just nobody sat there when the Dark Knight had his bloody nose and he was starting the All-Star game going. It's all gonna fall apart. Nobody thought that. Everything thought it was just gonna last forever. Sometimes good things don't last forever.
We used to do that. That was an ITL thing. In the great years of Matt Harvey, I would do the Batman voice. Like, I'm Matt Harvey. I'm here for it. Like that was like, I miss those days of being able to do Batman.
You want to do a bump in the bathroom?
I miss Adriana. No.
All right, let's get rid of that and stop freaking people out. Let's get back to the 2 box. All right, let's go 3 up and 3 down. I can put my Bane mask on.
I was about to say, you could do the Bane.
Jose Soriano, we thought he would give up a home run to Judge. He did not. Boy, the Yankees are in a bad stretch right now.
I'm like, hey, let's go the overruns. They didn't score a run through 9 innings.
Our friend Ariel Epstein, she had a funny post about it because she's just a rabid Yankee fan. Her misery last night after that game, her post on Instagram was hysterical. She was just, she could not get over. She was giving you all the percentages of like when you have a runner at first, how often they should score. When you have a runner at second, just misery against the Angels. Soriano just was great. Clarke Schmidt was really good too in that same game. 7 2/3 scorers. Go ahead.
There was one thing though. It was like, I still can't understand this sometimes. I think Judge hit a ball 111 off the bat with a 24-degree launch angle, and it didn't go out. And this brought up people doing a little bit. I don't know if you saw this stuff from a week ago, but the news of the dead ball where Andrew McCutchen actually, because Eno had been talking about this, that the ball has more drag and it's not flying as much. And Andrew McCutchen actually confirmed that a rep in MLB said the balls are different this year and the seams are higher. And they were trying to figure out what was going on. And that's creating more drag on the ball, which isn't getting them out. And then you get where Judge hits one with a 24-degree launch angle over 110 and it doesn't go out. That was kind of a screaming like, yeah, baseball, this is your fault, by the way. This is your fault.
They changed them mid-season is what you're talking
about?
No,
it's been all season long. The seams were higher and everyone was kind of speculating like, what's going on? There's, data points, and Eno had really been talking about how like you can see in the metrics, like there's more drag. It's not going as much. And then finally, because this multiple people have been doing this article, Andrew McCutchen came out and was just like, yeah, I talked to a rep and they confirmed the baseballs are different this year. And MLB's trying
the baseballs are different.
Because they're hand done and everything. But it's just like, how do you screw up? And by the way, when asked too, they said the rep told McCutchen, like, it's not going to get fixed this season. Can you imagine having like $1 billion business that you're just like, yeah, it's too late. We can't make the game.
Well, do you
better.
think again the raised seams or the different feel of the ball is also why the pitchers are having injuries? Like, I mean, it can ask the question. I just don't understand why there isn't consistency. We have something called mass production. They're not made by hand anymore. There's not some like.
That's what they were saying they were doing.
Hold on. Think about how many baseballs they go through in a game in one game. It's like somebody looks at a baseball wrong. They're like, no, let's get rid of this. Let's get a new ball.
That's what they were talking about, that these were still like hand stitched and something like, I mean, I don't know. Calibrate, get a machine. We don't need machines to take over everything, but we could probably get MLB's baseballs to be done. You would do good at this.
I'm just hand stitching the baseballs. How many more do I've got to go for this game? Oh, 1,100. I'll get right on that, boss. I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts. Absolutely insane. Aroldis Chapman also got a save there, struck out the side. So Aroldis Chapman's had a really good season, bouncing back. He was that closer in drafts I kept taking late. Just give me Chapman. I don't like anything in this bullpen but him. Let's see what happens. The downs, Dylan Cease struck out 9, gave up 6 runs. It's the Dodgers. I'm still buying. All of his deeper metrics are still good. So this is your chance to buy back in. I was worried after that big strikeout performance it would go away. It's right back at you. Go get Dylan Cease right now. Zach Eflin, 7 runs. He stinks. Kyle Finnegan, just epic meltdown for him. 3 runs and a pair of homers. Ugly blown save for him. Injuries. Giancarlo Stanton came back. He went 2 for 4 with a double. The Astros put Lance McCullers with a foot issue on the 15-day IL. So they hope he's only going to miss that 15 window. Zach Geloff is going to begin a minor league rehab assignment. Will Vest is going to avoid the IL with that pinky issue we talked about. Blake Snell threw a bullpen session on Monday. So far, so good. Jordan Alvarez still has not resumed hitting. That is not good for fantasy managers, not good for the Astros. Astros got to go do something right now if they want to keep that lead in the West. The Giants activated Justin Verlander. Actually, they're going to activate him tomorrow, and then Cade Povich goes in the IL too. Welsh, you know what time it is?
What time?
It's time for the best bets of the day. And unfortunately, we don't have a graphic for it today, so I made my own. I made my homemade graphic. So here you go, everyone.
Oh, nice.
My name is Joe, and this is my presentation.
Bring it up a little bit. Your name is covering it, Joe.
Well, I don't want to cover my mouth either, although I'm sure a lot of people wish that I would. I'm going to start here. Jesus Luzardo, 6.5 strikeouts, plus 108. I really like this one today. I did a lot of homework on it. He's going against the Marlins. Marlins strike out a ton, and looks like Luzardo's back on track after tipping his pitches. Next up, the Toronto Blue Jays, money line, minus 124. Chris Bassett is on the mound against Brandon Pfaadt, who smells like a fat every time he goes and takes the mound. That's what his performances smell like. And then Cincinnati on the money line has played really well. And Andrew Abbott, can you see him? Andrew Abbott, minus 118 on the money line against Festa. The Twinkies can't get it on their own way. So give me Toronto, Cincinnati money lines, and give me Luzardo with the plus money for K's. Welsh, did you bring a show and tell?
I do have some show and tell. And by the way, people are very worried about Callie. Callie has not been fired. Callie doesn't have internet. And I have to only assume this is from our producer, Callie. This has to be from, I was shocked, by the way, last night. I don't know if you probably didn't see it. Well, no, you didn't see this because it's on the West Coast.
Why would we fire Callie?
We wouldn't.
Love Callie.
But Starlink last night shot off the Falcon 9 rocket and to send out some more satellites for Starlink. But it happened while I was driving home. So I picked up my kids around 8:30 at night, and we're driving. And all of a sudden, I see this thing going up in the air. And then all of a sudden, it created it's called like the jellyfish, whatever effect. And it was this rocket going. And I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, I was freaking out. And then we found out that it was a rocket. So I assumed them trying to send internet up into space completely nixed it because it did shoot off from San Diego. So Callie, God knows where he is. He has no internet. He's not connected to the world, but he is okay. So going to my best bets because we are having to do home productions today, as said. What is the laugh?
Oh, Wonky Penguin. Callie is quote unquote fine. I saw a picture of him holding today's newspaper.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, well,
get a newspaper.
I'll be doing that because here are my best bets. Bam, we've got note cards if it decides to come in.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. We're going with the Phillies. First 5 run line.
We should do this every day. This is way more fun.
Yeah, this is more fun. First 5 run line at minus 125 today. Going with Jesus Luzardo going up against his old team. Yes, and thank you. Next up, we are going with Toronto once it comes through. It's like how it fades.
Got it. Yeah. Well,
Toronto
it's got a white
first
balance. That's why.
So the Philly one, we want Philly to be up by a run through the first 5. This one, we're just straight up playing the money line because Toronto's going up against the Diamondbacks. Brandon Pfaadt, though. Brandon Pfaadt has been poopy. Chris Bassett on the mound. So we can play the money line if we want, but Toronto first 5 money line at minus 125. Love me that. And final up, we're not doing a first 5. Let the fade come in. What will it be? It's very
dramatic.
It is very dramatic.
Oh, what's it going to be? Boom, San Francisco run line.
San Francisco run line, so that's over 2 runs at plus 140. We are backing Robbie Ray today, and it's Rafael Devers Day in San Francisco. So nobody's going to really do anything. They're just going to sit, and they're going to score runs. So San Francisco run line, minus 1.5 at plus 140. That is the third of the best bets on this high production leading off.
There you go. Very high production and very exciting as well. Hold on one second here. Sorry, just got to get everything right here for the show. And, of course, if you're placing your bets, make sure you go ahead and go to fantasypros.com/leading off. New customers bet $5. You get 250 in bonus bets when you do. And, of course, download the Betting Pros app today, and you get the free trial of the Betting Pros Premium when you use the promo code leading off also. That's a good time right there. Let's look at the home run board, see what we have. Oh, I know Aaron Judge yesterday, and they walked him in a big spot last night, too. I thought he was going to have the big dramatic one. Wonky getting real dangerous there. Only 22. Takes 21 to get on the board. I'm sitting at 20. Let's go. Georgie's still at the top. Sammy Sosa jersey still up there. I'm going with the guy who's been red hot. I'm going with Junior Caminero plus 340 tonight to go Yad. Where are you going, Welshie?
We're going to take some Kyle Tucker bombs today. Kyle Tucker, wind is blowing out. And when the wind is blowing out with the Cubs, we are taking some hitters. So Kyle Tucker, number 2 in the All-Star voting, by the way. Kyle Tucker bombs, baby.
There you go. Aaron Judge leading All-Star breaking voting too. We should do that. We should do a live on-air vote between the two of us. We'll I like that. I think we did that a couple years ago.
Like what? Like you get the AL, I get the NL, or we do positional ones?
I think we talk it out. We come to mutual agreements.
Oh no, I have a better idea. Okay. What we do,
index cards.
We could take our index cards. We both write down the guy, and if we're split, then the audience has to break the split and put that guy in the All-Star game.
I love it. That is a great idea. Welsh is full of great ideas today, let me tell you. So it's a shame the show has to end, but it does. But we'll be back tomorrow for more fantasy baseball in the night. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Matt Harvey. I'm going to start this game.
I am the king of Gotham. Man. I just miss Adrian Lemus so much.
What could have been for Matt Harvey. Sad.